Hello and welcome to another update on the Wilsonville real estate market. My name is Steve Thoele. I'm a principal broker with Premier Property Group, and this update is going to cover the last 8 weeks of market activity ending this past Sunday, February 18th. So let me switch over here and share my screen with you, and we'll go through the info here together. So active listings we'll look at first. This last week I showed we had 4 new listings come on the market in Wilsonville. You can kind of see where that tracks versus the other weeks, kind of right in the middle of the range there. When you look at total listings on a week by week basis, you kind of see we had a low of actually had a low this last week of 60 and a high of 70 here about a month ago. So not a huge variation here over the past 8 weeks. But kind of a low here nonetheless. Median list price and days on market for those active listings. So price has kind of come down a little bit. We had a high of 766 to begin with. That dipped clear down to 709 as a low here a month ago. It did recover back up into the kind of 750s, 760 range. This last week came in at 752,000. And then days on the market. That's been on the decline. Had a high of 72 here 6 weeks back, and that got down to a low of 32 2 weeks ago. This last week, just one day higher at 33. So 33 days of average market time right now for these 60 homes on the market in Wilsonville. Okay, next we'll look at pending sales. This last week, I showed we had 3 properties cross over from pending to sold. Excuse me, they crossed over from active to pending. And that's down a bit from the prior 2 weeks where we had a nice little surge of pendings, 8 and 11. Total number of pendings is the red bars. So we had a low of 20 to begin with here, and that got up to a high of 35 pendings here 2 weeks ago. And this last week dropped just a couple down to 33. And the median price and days on market for those pendings, the price has been coming down overall, had a high of 715. It was 7 weeks back, and the low was this last week at 630,000 is the median list price right now for these 33 pending homes right now in Wilsonville. The days on market, that's been on the rise. We kind of hit a low of 29 on a 2 or 3 occasions here. Got clear up to 94 days of average market time here 2 weeks back. And this last week did drop back to 69 days is kind of where we're at right now with these 33 pendings in Wilsonville. Okay, sold listing activity. So as of the time I put the info together, I show we had 5 properties go from pending to sold. It's been pretty steady here over the past 3 weeks on a week by week basis at 5 each. When I look over the prior 4 weeks of closings on a week by week basis, that's the red bars here. So we started off with 17 closings over the prior 4 weeks to begin with. That dropped down to a low of 9 here just about a month ago over the prior 4 weeks. And then it has recovered, bounced back. This last week came in at 17. So we started off at 17, got down to 9, and we're back up to 17 over the prior 4 weeks. The median sold price, the days on market for these sold listings, you can kind of see we had a high of 715 8 weeks back. Other than that, we've been in the 600s. Got down to a low of 609 3 weeks ago. This last week came in at 635,000 for these most recent 17 sales in Wilsonville. And then the days on market, you can see that had a high of 70. Low of 43 2 weeks ago. This last week kind of came in more in the middle of that at 62 days of average market time for, again, these 17 most recent sales. And last bit of data here we'll look at is weeks of inventory and the sale price as a percent of the original list price. So red bars is that weeks of inventory, good measurement of relative supply and demand in the market. Started off with about 15 weeks of inventory 8 weeks back. That got clear up to 31 weeks of inventory as we kind of were had a lower number of closings as we saw above. And then as the closings have started to increase again, this number has kind of come back down substantially. So this last week actually hit a low for the past 8 weeks at just over 14 weeks of inventory. So that's about what, 3.5 months of inventory or so right now based upon current levels of supply and demand. And then sale prices were sent the original list price. So we had a low of just about 96% to begin with. That got up to just right at 99%, or just about 1% off of original asking price. That held pretty steady for 3 or 4 weeks. Has dropped a little bit over the past couple of weeks. Most recent reading is about 96.5%, or about a 3.5% discount for the most recent sales that have occurred in Wilsonville. And then the very last thing we'll look at is mortgage rates. So last time we looked at this was a couple weeks ago on last update. So again, looking at information from Mortgage News Daily website. Last update I gave you, we were at about 6.9% on a 30-year fixed rate loan. You can kind of see it's kind of increased from there over the past couple weeks. Last week was kind of a real tough week for rates. We had a couple inflation reports that came in, the CPI and PPI inflation reports that were both they were higher than expected. So it came in a little hotter, which the bond market certainly reacted to, didn't like. And so we ended last Friday, at about 7.15% for a 30-year fixed rate loan, which is about 1/4% higher than 2 weeks ago. So certainly not not a welcome development, but that's kind of what has transpired. And we'll see what happens here over the next few weeks. But hopefully we'll start to moderate and come back down. But we will see. A lot goes into interest rates. So hope that update was helpful for you. As always, if I can answer questions or be of any help, please don't hesitate to reach out. My phone number and email address are always down below these videos, so you can give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email. I'd be happy to talk with you further. And as always, really appreciate any love you can give these videos in terms of likes, comments, and shares. That's always greatly appreciated. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do that before you leave this video, and subscribe to the channel. It's a great way for you to stay up to date on what's happening in your market. So hope you have a great day and week ahead, and we will see you on the next update.